Okay, this is the continuation of section 3.4, Roman numeral 2. We're going to expand each log. And so now when you expand, the first thing you want to do is to take care of any coefficients that you have. Some of those numbers can be rewritten as exponents, so make sure and take care of those numbers. And then if you have numbers of the factor in the number of the logs you write out, you're going to take care of that, and then you're going to take the log of each factor separately, and between those you're going to either write a plus sign if it's a multiply problem or a minus sign if it's a divide problem. And then the last thing that we need to take care of is the exponents. So when we do expanding on logs, you do the addition and subtraction part first and then the moving of the exponents. Okay, problem number 1. We have the log of the quantity, and again it might be a good idea to get into the habit of that, of 8xy to the 4th. So the first thing I want to do is take care of that 8. 8 is the same thing as 2 cubed. Now this is usually the most missed point on a quiz or a test, is that we forget to take care of our numbers. All right, next thing you want to do is figure out what's going on between everything. As you can see, we have a multiply going on between the 2, the x, and the y. How do we expand a multiplication problem? Hopefully you said with addition. So this turns into log of 2 cubed plus log of x plus log y to the 4th. And the last step we do with expanding is we take care of our exponents. So here we have an exponent, it's going to kick out front. The middle term only has an exponent of 1, so I don't need to worry about that. And then the last one has an exponent of 4, and it kicks out. And when it kicks out front, it kicks out just to that term that it's attached to. So then we have 3 log 2 plus log x plus 4 log y. The last thing you want to do is check to see if this term will reduce down anymore. So you kind of think to yourself, this has a base of 10. Does 10 raised to a nice number equal 2? And I can't really think of a nice number that 10 raises to give me 2, so this number is reduced down as far as it will go. All right, next problem. And again, since this has a fraction in it, go ahead and put parentheses around it. So we have the natural log of the quantity, square root of x squared plus 5, all over x. So on this problem, the very first thing that should be grabbing your attention here is that we have a division problem going on. So how do we expand a division problem? We subtract. Numerator part goes first, denominator goes second. So we have the natural log of the quantity square root of x squared plus 5 minus the natural log of the denominator, which is x. And then from here, we just got to manipulate a little bit here. How do we rewrite the square root? That's raised to the 1/2 power. Now, it is critical that you put these in parentheses because this entire thing was underneath the square root sign. So the entire thing has to be raised to the 1/2 power. Okay, we've taken care of the division part by subtracting. We don't have multiply going on anywhere inside of our parentheses. So the last thing I need to do is to take care of my exponent. It kicks out front of its first term and turns into a multiply problem. Final answer is 1/2 natural log of the quantity x squared plus 5 minus natural log of x. Okay, last problem for this one. This one is actually going to be a bonus problem for you. So again, put this in parentheses here. We have the log base 2 of the cube root of 4x times the cube root of 2y to the 6th, all divided by x to the 2/3 y. And I'm going to help you with a couple of steps here, but there are multiple steps to this problem. And in order to get all of the bonus points, you have to show all of the steps. So the first thing that should be grabbing your attention is this is a division problem. And so when we expand a division problem, we subtract. So I'm going to take the log base 2 of the numerator minus the log base 2 of the denominator. I'm going to give you a second to write that down, so go ahead and pause the video while you write this down. Next thing we need to do is rewrite our radicals as exponents. So something to the cube root is raised to the 1/3 power. Cube root raised to the 1/3, and we don't have any radicals going on in the last term. So I'm going to raise them to the 1/3. Now again, I had two things going on here, so I have to have parentheses around it. Same thing on this problem. We had 2, it's got to have parentheses around it. Clean this up a little bit. We have power to a power rule, which means that the 1/3 has to go to both parts in that first one, and then the 1/3 has to go to both parts here. Go ahead and clean that one up a little bit. Pause the video if you need to. And I'm going to stop right here. So you should be able to finish it from here, and there should be multiple steps. If you get all of the steps correct and the final answer correct, I'll give you 3 bonus points on our homework.